What is up once again, living end enjoyers? It's almost RCQ season. Pre-release is next weekend, but then the weekend after that, a lot of modern RCQs coming about. I have a guide available that I am now selling. I think it's pretty high quality. This video goes in conjunction with the guide. The only difference is I'm trying out Commandeer main deck this league, whereas in the version in the guide that I'm going to link down below, I'm playing a Titanoth Rex as this spot. They're both the 60th card, so I wouldn't stress too much about which one of those. It's just kind of a personal choice testing thing for the video. And this way, if you pair the guide with this video, you'll get a sample of both. So anyway, let's run this through a league. All right, it's round number 1. We've got a middling hand that could do well in a game where hard casting our flash creatures is good, so I'm going to keep this. This isn't really exactly what we're looking for, but it's also got Curator to dig a little bit, and we're up against a blue deck, so I kind of like this hand for that. Obviously, we didn't know what we were going to be up against. I think I just keep this hand anyway. It's kind of right on the border of keepable. It's got lands and spells, and it's got both of our... The reason I like this hand was it had both Force of Negation and Subtlety, and one of those is going to be good against almost anything. It's like the kind of decks where Force of Negation and Subtlety would both be bad. Like, I don't even know what that would be like. Maybe the Rack. If anybody's still playing 8 Rack. Oh! All right. Another Living End mirror for the channel. So I'm going to test out my theory about how you play the Living End mirror, and that is you try to stay even to a little behind on graveyard, such that if they commit to a Living End, like you can either endurance them, and their endurance doesn't hurt you as bad, or you can just cycle in response to their Living End and end up with a bigger graveyard than they anticipated. I don't know. I think Living End mirrors are a matchup that favor patience, and I write about this in my guide, actually. I have some notes about how I like to play different matchups. The only time that's not true, I think, is when your hand is just not shaping out, or you're just way behind in cards on your opponent, or say you drew like 1 or 2 Living Ends and you just don't have as many options. Then you just pick a line that seems good and go for it. But in general, I think this matchup favors patience. And I'm a little bit worried because when I record, my Magic Online tends to take forever. So hopefully we're able to get all 3 games in. Okay, so see, right now I'm ahead on graveyard. I don't feel any pressure to commit more to the graveyard unless they do. We do need another green card for this endurance. I'm not going to run out Living End here. Just going to save the life for now. Now this is Bant Living End, so it's a mirror match. Against Sultai, I actually think that Inevitable Betrayal is a reasonable sideboard option. Because they have very good creatures like Overlord of the Baelmerk, whereas Bant doesn't really have any single creatures that are going to take over a game, except like a Colossal Sky Turtle that the opponent can't answer. All right, so might have been a little bit of a mistake there letting him go to 4 lands, because if I cast Endurance, he can Subtlety. But let's see. I think what I'm going to do now is cast my Endurance. So, pop the graveyards out. Curator striped. Yeah, our graveyards are about equal in power. I'm not losing too much if he endurances me. And we do want to start attacking them if possible with like a low investment creature. If you're playing Sultai, I think Formidable Speaker is really good in this matchup. Okay. So now I think I'll just take the damage. Hold up my options. I could also play my Curator and force his Living End. Because if I play Curator of Mysteries right now, it's kind of questionable how he gets back into the game without casting a Living End, and I have Force for the first one. So, as much as I usually advise not doing a whole lot, I'm going to go for this before he can Subtlety. And obviously, if Curator of Mysteries goes to the graveyard somehow, then it's just in my graveyard. That's really not a big deal. And I don't think I can spend all 3 of these subtleties by casting all 4 of them for 12 mana, so I'm okay burning one of them with Force of Negation here. Even though I did just talk about how you want to stay up in cards or neutral in cards. I am still neutral in cards if you factor in I have 2 cards in play. What's opponent thinking about? Does he have Mystical Dispute in his main deck? Right, so when you're all your RCQs, everyone's going to be playing Living End. He cycles in response. Our graveyards, mine's still better. So we're not even being very threatened right now yet. All right, now his graveyard's a little better. Right now it's 7 cards versus 7 for me. Just 2 of mine are committed to the board. And now Subtlety and Endurance don't do much for him, because both of my creatures attack into them just fine. Alright, if he does nothing here, that's really good for us. We are so far ahead, I feel like, if he does nothing. He only has 1 green mana also. Our opponent might have fetched himself into a hole. Meticulous Archive is the worst of the 3 surveillance that we can play. That's fine. Because you can't get it with Generous Int, and it doesn't cast Wistfulness, the green mode. And he doesn't have a Mistrized Village, so this is safe. Yeah, what are you going to do with the Shardless Agent against my board? Obviously, he could Living End again next turn. Never mind. Opponent goes to 5. Not even chump blocking with Shardless Agent, which indicates to me that he doesn't have another Cascade. If you have another Cascade there, I think you block with Shardless Agent. Okay, opponent gets their 6th land, so they could have Cascade into Force. They could also just have 2 Cascades. He doesn't attack, or yeah, he doesn't attack, so he does want to block with Shardless Agent. In theory, if he can't block or do anything, this Subtlety is lethal, but I'm not going to bank on that working against a blue counterspell control deck with 6 lands. Okay, Ardent Please, kind of useless. And now it's up to our opponent to do something. They hurt themselves for me. Get their 2nd forest. I think I want to Subtlety this because I've got another Subtlety that I can pitch Ardent Plea. This is a little aggro, but I think I slammed my foot down a few turns ago. And I've drawn very well since then also. Opponent's thinking about maybe Sky Turtle. He can't have Otawara. He doesn't have enough mana. Beseiju wouldn't matter. So yeah, I think the only thing that gets him out of this is Pitch Subtlety or Sky Turtle. Sky Turtle will be a little bit obnoxious. They have their own subtlety. I'm gonna commence the pitch fight. Their final two cards could be another subtlety. I gotta remember to target his and not mine. Alright, so important part of the game not to screw up. Target his. Or theirs, I don't know their gender. Don't see a ton of girls playing Magic, but there are a few. There's actually a video of me playing against a girl on YouTube from many years ago. I was playing Living End too. And then the original subtlety targets endurance. And the opponent has to have turtle now. They do have the turtle. Okay. And they don't have, or I don't have lethal next turn either, unless they don't block for some reason, but they do. Sky Turtle is demonstrating why it's so good. It's not a gold card because it's two colors. It's a gold card because it's worth its weight in gold. That might actually be true if you want an RCQ with it. Okay, opponent is digging for another Cascade spell or something to stop this onslaught. Sure, endurance comes down. Okay, this has gotten a little bad for me. What's the play? I think the first play is we offer subtlety to the endurance gods and send them to 1, so now fetching is offline. And just recast the curator. Okay, so like I said, in this matchup, I think it generally favors the person who commits less. But if you think about it, like if I pay 4 mana for a curator, it didn't go anywhere. It just went from my hand to the battlefield. So it's like I'm still, I don't know how to explain this, but you want to be careful about when you expend resources. But if you find a way to like get in under their mana, especially if you just have, infinite counter spells in your hand, that's not always true. Sometimes you do just want to press your advantage. Okay, what to do? High Noon is no good because it stops me as well. I think I want Commandeer because they're going to be bringing in Teferi. And I think I want Mystical, obviously. So I'm going to take out, I think 3 Ardent Pleas, 1 Living End, and just try to leave my threat density very high. In general, I'll take out Ardent Plea when I'm bringing into Fairy because I don't want to get stuck with too many 3 mana plays and I can't even dispatch all of them. And also, if you're bringing into Fairy, usually that's a slower matchup and you don't want your hand to fill up with like just useless Cascade cards. Because sometimes you just don't even want to Cascade. 2 more cards to take out. The worst creature here is really Street Wraith, so I guess we can go Street Wraith. And I'm not crazy about Wistfulness because the green's never going to do anything, and the blue is a sorcery. So I guess we can do that. Game number 2, this hand is almost good enough. I think if this was a blue land, I would keep. I mean, this hand can't get bullied by a Living End anytime soon. Huh. It's got Force for Teferi. It's got Subtlety for... And it's got Endurance. You know, like, I'm going to mulligan. I don't want to lose on video to land screw. And now we have no lands. But we do have 2 Street Wraiths and an Endurance. It would be irresponsible of me to keep this hand. It's worse than the last hand, unfortunately. So I have to send it back. Okay, opponent's also gone to 6. Well, at least we have 2 cards we can put back. Done. Alright, turns out we should have kept the first hand, but at least this one can use the blue mana. Or this one has blue mana. Opponent went to 6. They lead on springs, that probably means they have an int. I think between these 2 cyclers, I'm going to save, actually. Well, I think I'm going to cycle this first Riverwinder, but then I'm going to hang on to Commandeer and try to snatch it to Fairy. Yeah, play your Curator. It's funny, like all these creatures have Suspend in this matchup. I'm just going to do this now. I'm tired of waiting. Alright, well, it got another land. Didn't get a blue card, though. We do need another blue card. There we go. Okay, pray for Teferi. Yeah, they shock in. No, it's just Ardent Plea. Here's what I do. I'm gonna cycle now. If they hit Inevitable Betrayal off of this, I think I'll Commandeer it and put Sky Turtle into play because that means they don't have Living Ends. But this is probably Living End. And if they go for an Endurance here, they have to decide what they're going to do before, because it's their turn. This is one of the... Okay, they Betrayal me, which means they're out of Living Ends. See, I don't think you do this against Bant. I think... Yeah, I'm going to keep my Force of Negation in my hand. Wait. Search target opponent. Shoot. Okay, I think we're learning a lesson here. I didn't think about that hard enough. I don't think this works. Okay, I gained control of it, which means he was my opponent, right? Yes, okay, it worked. So I didn't stop to realize if that worked or not. Darn, they have Turtle in their hand. Wow. How unlucky. They either boarded Turtle out or they have it in their hand. That sucks. I just wasted 3 cards on that. But because I gained control of the spell, I then had an opponent. Actually, I don't see how I could have clicked on same targets for Inevitable Betrayal once I took control of it, because I'm not my opponent. Anyway, these creatures are all terrible in the face of Colossal Sky Turtle, except, I suppose, Endurance. Or Striped Riverwinder, because it has Hexproof. Yeah, okay. Striped Riverwinder has Hexproof for the win. You get an Ardent play. Can I have a land? Yes. All right. So, strange game. I don't think you want Inevitable Betrayal versus Bant. We just don't have great hits, like I said. They cycle. They're down to 8 already. And remember, they have Turtle in their hand, so they can, in theory, well, they don't have anything to pick up with it, so. Or they boarded Turtle out. I don't think you would board Turtle out, but maybe they did. Let's get the Lush Port. Oh, wait, crap. That was the wrong land. Whoops. I should have got blue land. Oh, well. Now I haven't got Endurance. Doesn't matter. All right. Ignore those last few seconds of gameplay. We have all of our lands. Yeah, obviously I need 2 blue there, so that was dumb. One of the costs of blabbing a lot is sometimes you're focused more on talking than you are on playing, but it happens. Sometimes your opponent just has a hexproof 5/5. Whatever. I wonder if they kept in both Living End and Inevitable Betrayal. They could cast Subtlety here, so if they fetch, actually no. I was gonna say if they use that fetch land, I'm gonna cast Endurance before they can hard cast Subtlety. They also can play another Endurance or Subtlety and just block down that River Winder. So what I'm going to do is go to their end step and cast Endurance, but I'm going to leave Force of Negation obviously up for if they try to do any shenanigans. They're not going to attack. Nope. Then we Endurance. I don't even think I want to put... Shoot, you know what? So, all right, it didn't matter. I made a mistake there, though, because I didn't check the IB count in our opponent's deck when I was looking at it. If I didn't see another one, we could have deduced they drew it. And so there's tucking this Inevitable Betrayal would be really bad because they could have like Endurance. Well, I mean, not anymore, but we know they have Turtle. I don't know. They have 2 turtles and block. I don't know. Like, there's plays I could have made there that would have been better, but we won the match anyway. On to round number 2. Round number 2, we have won the die roll, and this hand is pretty good. I'm going to keep. I'm actually going to shock this in because I want the velocity. I want to use Ent right away. And then, yeah. Actually, might have been kind of bad because I can't Force Cycle and Wistfulness and have white mana. Okay. Opponent goes blue-green land, Breeding Pool, for Tameo. That's not something I'm used to. So this is, I think what this is Song of Creation. It's like a, kind of like a, not Oops All Spell, it's almost like the Epic Storm in Modern. I believe that's what we're up against. It plays a bunch of 0 mana artifacts to try to win the game with Storm using the enchantment Song of Creation. So obviously that means I'm going to leave Force Blue card in my hand. Unfortunately, they didn't play an artifact I can take out. I think what I do is actually get Lush here. I'm pretty, I guess you would call it conservative. I'm pretty aggressive about getting these Surveil lands when I don't have something obvious I want to do with my mana. A different playstyle you could have is to be more aggressive with your mana, taking more damage from shock lands. Opponent looks at our top card. We draw it. I'm going to play my tap land. Creature would be nice. There we go. Okay. Now, opponent needs to flip this Tamiyo or have like Force of Negation here. And I kind of like having this Wistfulness around as a post-living end play. It actually doesn't do anything when it enters from the graveyard. So sometimes, even though it's a 6/5, it's like you'd rather have the ETB than the 6/5 body. Should we force that? I don't think we should. There's an argument for forcing that. If our opponent had a fetch land, they would have played the fetch land first before scrying. Yeah, they flipped Tamiyo. I don't really care that much. I think we're going to get our living end down before Tamiyo is threatening to end the game. I could be wrong. Mox Amber. I don't believe I forced that either. Legendary creatures, or okay, well I guess it can make mana. So now they're representing improvised counterspell. They play an island and tap it, and they also tap the Mox. For Malevolent Rumble, I actually am going to counter that with Wistfulness. I don't want them to put like Emery Tamiyo in their graveyard, and then my living end helps them. They've tapped out of counterspell mana, so we should get a living end off here, unless they have force. Maybe I should have forced that preordain. They look at our library. Hopefully it's a blue card. It is a blue card indeed, and a pretty good one too. Let's avoid the pain and play Charlotte's Agent. This gives us an extra attacker, which is nice. I think overall this matchup is a little bit rough for us, but we're off to a good start here. Hopefully they have to go all in here and we can force it, and they'll leave the game. If you were going to play this, if you thought this deck was going to be prevalent for whatever reason, you could play like a Dismember or two even in the sideboard. Dismember's nice against Emery Tamiyo. Opponent gets back Preordain and plays it. I think that's okay. Tamiyo's at 1, so I can pick it off. Well, now we need to draw Endurance. What's in their graveyard? Just 3 Mishra's Baubles. So this will be sorcery, sorcery, artifact, artifact. This isn't really threatening anything. I'm going to let that resolve. I do have to attack Tamiyo with the flyer now if they want to leave back this chump blocker. I think I want to get Song. Oh, that sucks. All right, now I have to send everything at Tamiyo. Let's make sure Tamiyo perishes. Play the Painless Land. That could matter. There's no reason to block here. All right, what'd they hit, by the way? They have creature, sorcery, land, artifact. All right, so right now their graveyard is a dangerous place because of the shifting wildwood. They can do something like put a Song of Creation in their graveyard here with the Surveil land, which would suck. They can flip Tameo if they want. I have to counter if they go for a Malevolent Rumble. See, I kind of think they should Surveil here. Nah, they're just getting their mountain. They draw to flip Tameo, but yeah, this is certainly Song of Creation. And then they plus that. Oh, nuts. That's a lot of Tameos. Did I booger this game up on some turn early on? Well, that certainly didn't help. I'm going to shock this in so I can make my next counterspell uncounterable. We hit Tameo for 1, which means if she minuses, it kills her next turn. They have another Tameo. Although if they block, then they don't. So either Tameo dies or they block with their other Tameo. Tameo's dying one way or another. Okay. Never mind. No Tameos were harmed. I don't know. Thinking's for blockers. Nothing too bad in the graveyard, at least. Is he finally out of blockers? No, he's attacking. Endurance would be great. He can at instant speed make this a Tameo, but then he has to sack one of them, so I don't think that's a good play. No, he can't. He doesn't have the green. Misty, not what we needed. Everybody attacks Tameo. Make sure this thing dies. Is brother playing Fog? Nope. Alright, we killed the Planeswalker. In general, I think this matchup's kind of bad for us just because they're so fast. They can get out on the board, get ahead of what we're doing, and then like just counter key things that they need to counter before they can combo. Because they do have just a go off win the game combo. They don't have it in play yet. And they almost certainly have Emery in their deck too. Opponent draws. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Do I want Force of Vigor here? I think I do. I'm going to look at my library. I don't think I want to counter that. Get the Hedge Maze. I'm going to graveyard that. I want more action. I just want something to do at instant speed. Yep, they plus. Wow, is it? All right. Okay. I see how it is. Waker, I mean, we can almost just cast it. Everybody at Tamio. Can't let these planeswalkers live. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could have won by attacking, but planeswalkers living is not good. And the thing is, if I knew he was just going to have more and more planeswalkers every turn, maybe I would have attacked. But I mean, how often do you play against every Tamio in someone's deck? And now there's nothing I would do right now, so I'm going to pass the turn. I'll probably discard this Waker looking for... Actually, now I think I'll discard the Waker after he surveils. I'd like to find Endurance. They're having a long think about whatever this card is. I guess I don't need to look for Endurance until they activate Shifting Wildwood. If he needs to trigger Tamio, he can make this a copy of a Mishra's Bauble and sacrifice it. Yeah, he doesn't have to tap Shifting Wildwood. There's the Song of Creation. Okay. I'm gonna do this while he's tapped out. Need the Endurance right now. Okay, I'll take Otawara. That actually, I think, can do it as well. So what I'll do is I'll Otawara the Shifting Wildwood when the first trigger's on the stack. And because Otawara doesn't say non-land, then that'll work. It just says enchantment artifact creature or planeswalker. You got me. And I've got pitch cast Force of Negation as well. So this first trigger will flip the Tamio. Okay. Little bit living on the edge here for us, but it's what we have to do. So he's going to play a cheap card. Yep. Okay. Bounce that. Endurance would still be sick to hit off this Curator. No, that's a different green card. I don't think he plays a lot of instants. Okay, yeah. Still draws 2, flips Tamio. Does Shifting Wildwoods enter the battlefield tapped? I think it does, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's just green, 2 mana activate. Need Endurance bad. He just has one. He has Pact of Negation. Okay. Well, I'll let the opponent do what they're going to do, and then I'll see you at the end of the game. Okay, our opponent has defeated us. Let's see. I don't even know if I want Commandeer because we saw they played Pact of Negation. We don't want to Commandeer that. Foundation Breaker, Force, Force, Clarion, Clarion. Obviously, we want those. Beseiju. Do I want High Noon? They have Boomerang basics. What do I want to take out? That's 70 cards. I guess I take out things that affect creatures. I think I want this to like pick up an endurance and use it again. I think I'll go down on Ardent Plea because I'm more of a control deck now. And like 2 Clarion just makes up for Ardent Plea. Get down to 1 Ardent Plea. Just gotta take out 5 cards. Take out 1 Living End. I actually didn't write about this matchup for my guide, by the way. It's been so long since I saw it. I guess 1 Subtlety. Riverwinder, Aven. Okay, game number 2. The hand's pretty good, I'll keep. It's lacking on creatures to cycle, but I've got the main pieces of interaction that I want, so I just need to fill in the rest of the hand around them. I don't think there's anything I would force of negation on turn 1. Nope, not going to force that. I know this isn't the perfect timing. I'm just kind of want to get along with the game. Okay. Nothing great for our Force of Vigors yet. I mean, I guess that was a reason not to do that. Now they know what I drew. Alright, I drew land. They know about my lands. They got me. Opponent's playing a cooler breeding pool than we are. Being old makes you cool. I also believe they mulliganed once. Maybe not. I wasn't paying attention. They shocked in their land, meaning they have Spell Pierce, I guess. I think Spell Pierce is what they would play. More lands for us. Good thing I got to put that on in the graveyard. Okay. I think I want to take this opportunity to just get the dragon in play. Spell Pierce that. They didn't have anything great in their graveyard yet, so Shifting Wildwood. Well, that's a little bit of a problem, but I have endurance. VV Orniteer. This is still kind of a problem if they just start... Because, I mean, this thing gets counters on it. It's not even like prowess. It's not even fair. Alright. But no flying. I don't think I want to Beseiju yet. I want to see what they do. And we might just give up on living ending this game. Dragon might kill them. If I can protect it especially. That's fine. I take the damage. VV's like, it's got double storm because it just does the damage to you directly and then it attacks. Like Wizards of the Coast invents a scale called the Storm Scale. And then they just continue printing it anyway. On creatures. Oh, but don't worry, it makes mana too. I totally forgot this had that mana ability. Alright. I still don't think I want to counter this. Like, where's the payoff? I'm gonna cast Endurance to chump block here. I've got Besage You for when they try to activate this Shifting Wildwood. Hopefully they're done casting stuff. And my Endurance will live. Nature's Claim. Okay. Alright. Well, I've already used both my Surveillance. That's a little bit of a bummer. Kind of hope I draw a Cycler here. Hello, hello. And now I think what I do... I don't think that they can Wildwoods kill me next turn. I am a little bit worried about taking a lot of damage from Vivi. So, like, if this Living End does resolve, that's great. And if it doesn't resolve, I at least have a chump blocker. And their artifacts and creatures aren't even that good that I'm shutting off. I wish I'd drawn, like, anything but these 3 lands. Like, that's a lot of lands. 7 lands. Yeah, they could Spell Pierce me. They could just pay for Mystical. Like I said, at least get a chump blocker. And they can't make mana with Vivi as long as Dragon is in play. They could just be surveilling here also. Opponent surveils. To the top. And then they Flusterstorm. Okay. So I was wrong about Spell Pierce, but it doesn't matter. They're the same card, basically. As far as I'm concerned, no. Chump blocker resolves. Play my land tapped. I think I'm going to take some Mysticals out because I know about Flusterstorm now. That's not a card you really see that often in Modern anymore. Opponent decides to do nothing before combat. I'm going to take this now. Well, 5 would put me at 8. Never mind, I'm not going to take that. Christopher Reeves wouldn't stand for that. Yeah, because I mean, VV could, like, just... If they have a bounce for my blocker next turn, they could just kill me. Yeah, they bolt me. They bolt the dragon. Does this need to tap? No, of course not. It doesn't need to tap. Why would it need to tap? Okay, so now we kind of need to find another Cascade spell. And I took several of them out, which maybe was unwise. But I mean, like almost any non-land in our deck would have been good here, besides like subtlety, which I also took 2 of out. And I can't use that. I can't use my force. I can't use Besage You. I didn't have them on Lightning Bolt, I'll be honest. They discard their hand. Okay. Well, I'll play this land tapped. Go to their turn. Besage You that. Still just 3... No. 2 spells away from killing me. So if they draw like Preordain into anything. Oh, they've been the forest. They attack for 7. It's only 7, guys. Don't worry. End step, I'm going to take out this shifting. With Song of Creation in the graveyard, that could be a problem. Okay, now I'm just dead to Lightning Bolt. But I mean, I drew so many lands this game, I was going to be dead to a lot of stuff. Alright, Turtle would be good. Subtlety lives for a turn. Maybe they'll cast a Tameo pre-combat. Can't make it uncounterable. Hopefully this resolves. It does. Okay, we still need to draw a turtle or a Shardless Agent or our 1 remaining Ardent Plea, I believe. Opponent makes a ton of mana. Grape Shot here is lethal. They cast Song of Creation, and I can't do anything about it. Okay, they need to hit 2 lands. Endurance. Okay. That's pretty bad. Tameo. Just any 2 non-creatures. There's another shifting. Yeah, we're super dead here. Okay, we don't have a chance. That shifting Wildwood put us away. What will we draw? Still would have lost. All right, on to round number 3. All right, round number 3. Let's see if we can get a little bit better of a matchup. I like that. That's got subtlety. It's got 2 lands. It's got Street Wraith. It's got a Cascade spell. It's got a useless blue card. I will keep. We even won the die roll. Look at that. I'm gonna bottom that. We have free interaction. I just need more lands. Hopefully we're not instantly punished for that. Marshflat's decks, it's just energy, it looks like. Well, let's see what we draw. Another force, didn't even matter. I think I'm gonna subtlety that because I actually have excess cards here. Usually I save subtlety for their 2-drop, but their 2-drop is covered here no matter what it is. I just need to hit a third land. Okay, there's another blue card. Next, I mean, I feel like I play a ton of games of energy that come down to me finding the third land on time. Hopefully they go for like a Goblin Bombardment here, because it's really good against me. Okay, so it looks like opponent might be resigned to the post-Living End rebuild, which is um, what Boros Energy players do when they feel like they're too far behind for their first board state to beat Living End. So maybe that will give me some time here. Because time is actually like what I need. Okay, now the Secret is out. I don't have mana. Or cyclers even, by the looks of things. Now we're kind of in a dilly of a pickle. Do I cycle, or do I use Endurance pitching Shardless Agent, forcing myself to draw white mana? No, you just get right out of here with that. I don't want to take like any beatdown. And now I think I might even Force of Negation uh like a Goblin Bombardment if they played one. Yeah, unfortunately missing that third land is probably going to spell doom for us. That would have been so good if we hit it. Looks like opponent's leaving up Thraben Charm. There's the Misty. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go off right now because I think this is just an obvious Thraben Charm. And now it looks like maybe I don't even have a Cascade spell. So maybe they'll start committing to the board here. If I play this Endurance out, then they are incentivized to play to the board. So, I don't know. Grasping at straws here. They Surveil again. It'll be nice to use this Endurance anyway to reset their graveyard count because they are a Flage deck. Sure, there's Guide of Souls. I think we get a Hollowed Fountain here. And a Cast the Endurance. Okay. I think actually probably have to stay back. I don't usually like hanging back against Boros Energy. So I won't. Never mind. They don't have any energy anyway. Trading 1 for 3 right now is fine. Even if they play a Johnny and then put a bunch of counters on the Guide of Souls, then Living End gets better. I'd like to draw another land so I can cycle after a Thraben Charm. Yeah, okay. Now, maybe they feel like they have permission to start running away with the game here. Maybe they'll tap below 2 mana. No, they tap exactly to 2 mana. And now they have enough energy, they can start doing their Guide of Souls thing. Yep, opponent seems like they know what's going on. But at least maybe we can board wipe here. I think I'm not going to attack because that's just inviting a chump block. Shoot. Well, I can't just take a pounding for the rest of the game, so I gotta do this. I wish I had one of my commandeer here. Because no one ever does it right. They never target both of us with their graveyard thing. The reason I didn't attack is because any one of these creatures could fuel the beginning of just a massive comeback from our opponent. I've seen energy just kill me with what seems like no board state at all, just out of left field so many times. There's the most telegraphed Thraman Charm that you'll ever see, but it doesn't matter because we're land screwed. Up, up, up. There we go. So yeah, Magic Online doesn't want me to see this. All right. At least I get a dude. And now they have 4 cards in the graveyard. Like, now my living ends are all terrible unless I draw another endurance. If they have Seasoned Pyromancer or should I save that? No, that can't be right. I'm not using 2 cards on that, so I can attack them for 9 turns. There's Ragavan. Okay. They could hit me here and then cast a Johnny, and then I'd be really screwed. You know, a lot of people say this is a good matchup for Living End. I find it neutral at best. I just think Energy has too many tricks. Hey, look. Let's go get our island while I can. And the reason I'm casting this is because I don't even want to Living End again. Like, look at their graveyard and then look at my graveyard. And then look at their graveyard again. And then just think about what that board state would look like. It would be bad for me. This shuts down the stupid monkey. Stupid monkeys need the most curators. No, not Dwarven. Danklivingend Encampment. They're gonna dash. When he attacks, he gets 2/1/1s. He pyromancers. Great. Doesn't discard, meaning his hand is amazing. Why did you dash? Goodbye. Alright, well, if he couldn't attack this turn, maybe he can't attack this turn. I wish Wistfulness. I wish I had 1 more mana for that Wistfulness. Still not even entertaining Living End right now. This doesn't even kill our opponent next turn. How sad is that? We're on turn 8. I've done 7 damage. That is a recipe for failure. Opponent Furies. Blade, Titan, of Fire's Fury. No good targets here. They're just going to have to shoot me. I'll block. Don't think I won't block. And now, by the way, I have to use Wistfulness to get an Endurance, hopefully. Oh, can they just Flage? Yeah, they can just Flage from the graveyard. All right. Well, let's see. Do they do it? Yeah. All right, we lose. Like I said, this matchup, I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad at Magic, but I don't think it's very good. So in this matchup, we bring in Commandeer, Foundation Breaker, Boseiju, because so many of their good stuff against us are enchantments. I'm going to take out 2 Street Wraiths and a Riverwinder because I don't think the 5/5 Hexproof matters very much. Right. We get to go first. That's a good hand. I'll keep that. You don't even have to worry about white because we only have 1 white card in the main deck and we have 4 of them. I'm going to take the damage. All right, another Misty's pretty good. And I'm actually going to take the damage again. I am going to get the white because that was my final fetch land. Commandeer, we'll see if Commandeer does its job here. It's supposed to shut down whatever piece of nonsense they're going to use to steal the game from us. Another Cascade spell would be good, or just blue cards in general. Let's see. I can also just dump this Boseiju if I draw another land. We drew a land, but it's not the very good one. I'm gonna dump Sink into Stupor. Or just Subtlety. Yeah, I'm just gonna dump Subtlety because I have such an aggro plan right now with Commandeer that it should work out. And I write about this in the guide. I think I write more on this matchup than anything else. This isn't a point where, or an example of where just the math advantage of being on the play works out for us so well. They don't get to commit anything to the board and have 2 mana to interact with us. So they just have to pick one or the other. And it looks like if I had to guess, they're picking, well, now they're going to do something. Maybe it's High Noon. They do play High Noon, so. Oh, it's a Voice of Victory. Okay, we should just win. They had to make a choice there. It looks like they just didn't have interaction in their hand. A little surprised they kept that kind of hand. Let us Shardless Agent. So now I'm pretty naked against Blood Moon, but I think we're going to be okay. No, never mind. We're not naked against Blood Moon. We got Force Negation. Duh, I've got everything this game. I needed some of this stuff last game. This is why I'm playing Commandeer in the main deck. It stops Thraben Charm. Yep. Alrighty. And then on the draw, do I want to change anything? No. Like, I don't love taking 2 damage from Street Wraith, but I do need to see a bunch of cards to find my Commandeer, my third land, my Cascade spells, etc. So, kind of just walking a tightrope. You could take out more Street Wraiths and put, like, Stripe Riverwinder back in the deck. Some people even play Teferi in this matchup. I'm kind of off that plan. I think it's defendable on the play, and I don't think it's good on the draw. Okay, we've made it to game number 3 against Boros Energy. This is a 2-lander with Street Wraith. It's got 1 subtlety. I guess I'll keep. This isn't everything you want to see in a Magic hand, but it's got an extra blue card. Like I can't really mulligan this. I'm gonna keep. We just need the rest of our hand to fill out. Also, our opponent is Hot Babe 93, so I apologize for misgendering her earlier in the match if that happened. Hot Babe, yeah, Hot Babe 93. More useless cards. Let's cycle the Street Wraith. I want to find out if I need to take this too. Yet another Cascade spell. Ugh. At least I've got pitch fodder for subtlety. Well, this is just an example of a hand that could have got there and didn't. If I see this on 6, I'm keeping. So I didn't think seeing it on 7 and keeping was a terrible idea either. And like if these had been 2 cycle spells or 1 commandeer, this hand would have been great. Gonna do everything I can to keep a Johnny off the board for as long as possible. Maybe he'll bottom it even. Game's gonna spaz out a little bit. Get rid of one of these Ardent, please. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Tell me in the comments if you think I played this matchup incorrectly. I've just had really bad luck with this matchup. But like at the same time, Living End is supposed to be a good matchup against energy. So if you expect a lot of energy, Living End is a reasonable choice. Although like if you expect a lot of energy, just take energy and be a better player, I think is also a valid strategy. All right, I suppose I should pop out the game log. We'll see what they did. Top. All right, they're gonna Johnny again next turn. Land would be so good. Curator not necessarily bad. Well, the thing is, Besaju's never stopping the Blood Moon. So I guess I just play it. Like the Sink into Stupor, there is a version of this match where Sink into Stupor matters as a non-land, but I don't think there's any version of this game where Besaju does. Opponent has a Johnny. They don't have Thraben Charm mana up, so I do get to have a Living End here. Boom, boom, I have a Forest. Mistrise is good. What they'll probably do here is like bolt the cat token, or just bolt the Ajani. When you have endurance, it's really good for situations like this. If they discharge their Ajani, that's the card I mean, Galvanic Discharge. You let that happen, they think they're going to get it back, you endurance it away. Hot Babe 93 has a frown on her face instead of a smile. Let's see, what are they doing? No chat. As crazy as it sounds, I've seen Energy Splash 1 blue land and consign a memory. I don't think this person's doing that. I think we would have seen the blue land by now. Yep. So they're either gonna... Okay, they just get basic planes. They have Orange Chant, it looks like. Orange Chant is a card I can beat with this hand. Yeah, this has to be Orange Chant. They have Orange Chant. Okie dokie. I cannot cast the Living End. At least I get a chump blocker. Maybe they'll do something wild like attack with the Johnny. If they attack with the Johnny, would I even block? That means like another Johnny's coming. Well, if another Johnny's coming, then it's going to happen either way. I'm not going to block one cat token. That can hit me. Not flipping this if I don't have to. Now they can have Blood Moon. But remember, hanging on to Beseiju wouldn't have mattered if they have Blood Moon. It's just Fable. Okay. At least we get to hopefully Cascade again before they discard to this. I'm not going to exile that. And I'm also not going to... I think I'm going to play this land. I'm not going to attack and let them block with the Johnny. Yeah, if they block with the Johnny, they get in a Johnny back. No thank you. Alright, maybe we stole a game here. They surgical the Living End. Okay. I didn't want to draw that card anyway. Although maybe they think they can just rebuild. I mean, I don't know. It's 4 creatures versus 1 card in hand. They get 2 fresh looks from this Fable. They're probably going to discard some cards here. Yeah, they discard Arena of Glory. So they at least have something they want. If I draw a land here, I can full cast Wistfulness. Bloodmoon still gets me pretty good. Ranger Captain of Eos, it's a little late for that. I mean, not really. They can go get Guide of Souls, and now they'll probably win the game. Yeah, there's the Guide of Souls. Oakley Dokley. And they have a land. They're out of cards, though. Probably actually good for us that they had a land there. Alright, we would like to see land. Another Shardless Agent. Not exactly what the doctor ordered. But I will just play a Grey Ogre. Actually, no, I will not. I will Wistfulness. For green. Get that thing out of here. I mean, I guess it wasn't very impressive next turn, even if they flip that, because I have 2 flyers in play. Opponent goes to 3, so now Street Wraith is currently lethal, although if they put any creatures into play, they can gain life. Guide of Souls can only target attacking creatures, though, so they can't make a blocker that way. Might have stolen a game here. I feel like I was not favored in this game, but the opponent, I guess, drew poorly. Actually, why do they have Surgical in their deck? Energy players, don't play Surgical against us. You don't need it. Whatever you took out is probably better than Surgical. Orm's Chant I can get behind. It's basically just like almost like Remand. So it's not quite Mana Tithe. Okay. I'm blocking anything I can with the Shardless Agent. They cast Haste. Voice of Victory. That doesn't do it. They go to 6 life here off these 2 tokens, and then I have 7 power in the air. Target attacking creature, so he can't make a blocker with this. Also, he didn't order these triggers right. Sorry, Hot Babe 93, I apologize. All right, on to round number 4. Round number 4, we've won the die roll. Hopefully we don't play against any more meanie Song of Creation decks. I'm going to hang on to these Street Wraiths in case our opponent has like Endurance or 3-Wind Charm or something. Misty Rainforest Day. Okay. Well, this is probably one of 3 decks. It's probably Neoform, Living End, or Simic Ritual. In most of those cases, Subtlety is good and Force is good in all of them. Let's go ahead and get Hedge Maze. I don't think I need another Subtlety. Sync is a pretty good draw also against most of those decks. Could be another Song of Creation gamer, though. Hopefully it's Neoform. I like that matchup because it's good for me. They go straight for a Hedge Maze, and they leave it on top. Another Misty. This is likely Neoform, but I mean, I'm doing the same thing. Especially another Neoform or another Misty Pass. Like, I think a Simic Ritual player would have done something there. Let's go ahead and get the other Surveil Land. I'm going to keep that in case it's Living End. I think I have enough to do if it's Neoform. And I'm just going to play this land and pass. I guess if I really thought it was Neoform, yeah, it's absolutely Neoform. Well, no, actually, no, this could be Simic Ritual, just that didn't have a 2-drop. If I thought it was Neoform, I guess I should... No, it's Neoform. Sorry. If I thought it was Neoform, I guess I could have gone for a Living in there by cycling those Street Wraiths because they can be really annoying if they put a creature in their graveyard. Because then if they put a creature in their graveyard, they're just negating Subtlety altogether. So, all right, so now I am going to dig and look for a Cascade spell before the next turn. Okay, so we're also at an impasse here. I'm going to go to their turn, but I'm going to stop in their upkeep. Well, actually, shoot, I should have done this in their last turn, on my last turn. I want to see what I'm going to draw. Living in, that's terrible. That's not so bad. I'm going to cast... No. Okay, so what I was thinking, if I had another blue card, I would do this. I was going to Endurance to get rid of their graveyard so they can't have a Hooting Mandrills. But if I do that, then I can only do one of Force of Negation or Subtlety instead of both. So I'm going to leave up Hardcast Force. They Hedge Maze. All right, so maybe I'm like Sam Darnold seeing ghosts on the Jets. Okay, they're just going to ship the turn back. See, I think Neoform players are actually not aggressive enough in this matchup. I think we have as much or more counter magic than they do. So I don't think them drawing cards, unless their hand is already quite good and they're just trying to make it perfect, I don't think them drawing cards actually really benefits them. I think they kind of just need to shove it sooner. Like, I think if our opponent had a Hooting Mandrills there, they should have played it. And it's possible they should even just be playing Riders. early. All right, that was great. Now I have hard cast subtlety plus force pitch. And I've got 3 damage in play. Opponent has, it looks like, another copy of Planar Genesis, or as I call it, Cosmic Brownie, because the art kind of looks like a Cosmic Brownie you buy at the gas station. You know, there's like those pitch black brownies with like the little M&Ms on top. Those things are kind of good. That's my go-to like travel snack. Like I'm driving or I'm flying. I just want something bad for me to eat. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and get the breeding pool. And I'm going to cycle. I think I can draw 1 blue card between my next 2 draw steps. Yeah, there we go. And all right, so how does this look if I ardent plea? If I ardent plea, then I have to force pitch, sub force pitch, force, and I'm out of cards in hand. Whereas if I don't ardent plea, I can hold up subtlety and still have force pitch, and I might just get the 3/3 for free. So yeah. The other play there was hardcast curator and just bank on force sub double hard pitch or double pitch. I mean, getting there. Opponent also plays Verdant Catacombs, not a land I'm used to seeing out of Neoform, and gets the final Hedge Maze. They play 3. Yeah, so I think this matchup is good for us. And honestly, I've been in a lot of games against Neoform where I had nothing, and if the opponent would have just shoved their combo, they would have won. But because they waited around to try to have everything, it got me like something, and I was able to fight them. Let's hard cast. And if the subtlety doesn't work and the Hootie Mandrills lives, I'll yeet an endurance into it, and then I'll ardent plea living end. Consign to memory. That's fine. I'll do the play I just said. Okay, that was really good. I'm barely winning this race. So it's time. Got double force pitch. Opponent could have Pact of Negation. No, but they can't pay for it unless they have another. Alright, get your graveyard out of here. Okay. Opponent needs to win through double force. You know, I found in Magic in general, when you're playing against a combo deck that's scary, sometimes it's like nerve-wracking to play against them. Like when you're playing against like energy or a deck that just has a very obvious on-board plane of attack, you can feel, I think, more comfortable. But against like a combo deck where you're really playing around what's in their hand, I think it's important just to remain calm. And just remember, they're probably just as scared of you as you are of them. All right, so in this matchup, we want all the blue cards. And then out come the cards that I think we can trim on 2 endurance. Kind of like having some endurance. I think we can trim on 2 ardent pleas. I actually don't like wistfulness. On the draw, I'll actually take out 1 int. And the final card I'll take out. Actually, no, I'll leave the int. Take out Riverwinder Avon. Those are the actually instead of Avon, I'll take out one Waker just for mana reasons. Well, instead of Riverwinder, I mean. Yeah, so we're an IB deck now. Oh crap! Oh crap! Okay, my Magic Online crashed, but I mean, you saw I forgot to take out Living End, so shoot. I'm gonna keep this hand though because it's pretty good. Well, guys, I boogered that up, so we might just have to go to game 3 here pretty soon. Yeah, take out your living ends. You know, I was looking at my list like, geez, what else do I cut here? And I just totally forgot I had 3 living ends that need to come out. Anyway, we've got Force Subtlety, useless blue card. We got a Surveil land. I feel like Frank with my pieces. Another Teferi is also a useless blue card. Ulysses S blue card. Okay. I double dog their opponent to run out an Allosaurus Rider. They're binning Veil of Summer, which to me means their hand is either like great or they're going for Hootie Mandrills or terrible. I guess it doesn't tell us much about their hand, just that they don't want a 1-mana cryptic command. All right. What's insane here is no, I have to get Hedge Maze. I was thinking about getting Lush, but I have to get Hedge Maze. All right, well, that's a dead giveaway that I'm struggling. Mystical's pretty good, though. At least I have that. Oh, wait, I just totally forgot to use my... Darn it. Okay, I'm a little bit loopy right now. I just totally forgot to use my... my cycler. Dang it. Alright, I'm gonna discard IB. Well, that went as bad as possible. Shoot. Okay. Guys, this game just belongs in the trash. Don't even think about this game. I guess I should have pitched to Fairy there. It doesn't matter. It's getting pitched to Force or Sub. So they cycle Generous Int. The reason I didn't pitch Endurance is because I accidentally left those living ends in my deck. Otherwise, I would have pitched Endurance. Yeah. Okay. Now we take 1 per turn. They could have Abhorrent Oculus in their hand. Hey. All right, maybe we'll get an undeserved win here. But the opponent's going to freak out when I Living End. Let's just counter that. I don't need you doing everything. I don't know if you want to sideboard plan Ice Fang us. Maybe you do. Okay, well. Goodbye to Fairy. They could have Consign to Memory here. It would only cost 1 card. Nope, they don't. Okay. Okay. There's land number 3. Unfortunately, they delved away their Generous Ent from the graveyard. Don't need that. Opponent is their pants are just gonna fall off when I hit him with this Living End. Like remember that Simpsons where they announced that Radio Man is gonna be filmed in Springfield and then all their hats fly off. Like that's what our opponent is gonna be doing when we hit him with this Living End, or maybe we just hit him with Inevitable Betrayal and it's like nothing ever happened. Okay. First, I'm gonna play Teferi. Because if they have a counter spell, they have to counter this. And this actually isn't our game-winning threat. Oh no, my Teferi, no. No, that's okay. Don't need the damage. Okay, well, unfortunate. Oh, nice. They're just gonna beat down. Sick. Would have actually been worse for us if they'd gone for it. Now I can draw a land and make my living end uncounterable. Street Wraith could be a land. No, Generosent is a land, but it's not the one I wanted. Get the pool. I will take the damage for a turn. If they Oculus, that's fine. If they Allosaurus Ride or Neoform or something, I will Force of Negation. Hopefully it works. If they attack, I'll block with my face. And then next turn, after they do the Ice Fang Shuffle, I'll make an uncounterable living end, hopefully. Unless they hit my Cascade trigger. If I get another land here, I'll play it. Did not. Alright. So you gotta do this right on Magic Online. Opponent's pants are about to just fly off. No, their hat. Wait, no, what was it? Uh-huh. So they have consigned to memory? Okay, they have consigned to memory, that's fine. Now I think they're incentivized to... actually, I think they're just incentivized to keep attacking. I don't think they need to commit anything to the board. If they want to kill this Allosaurus Rider for me, that would be great. I'm not going to block because I have Colossal Sky Turtle in my deck. I could pick up that Shardless Agent. What you doing over there, opponent? Let's... First of all, how dare you? They have Pact. Can they pay for Pact? I suppose we will determine that. They've already used one consign. They have Grizzly Brand. They didn't play a land, or they already played one, I guess. No, cancel. Make the endurance uncounterable. Become ungovernable. I'm not going to target them because that would be putting a consign to memory back in their deck. I think 1 for 6 cards is not worth it. They have to hit a consign to memory. Looks like they did. I'm done. I want to leave my graveyard intact in case I have to live in it again somehow. Play the land. For Gits and Shiggles. Resist the urge to attack. They didn't have the consign yet. They could still have Cosmic Brownie. They have to, so they could either just have the consign or planar genesis to find. They have it. All right, we tried. I guess I could have kept playing that out. I didn't really want to. All right, take out the living ends. Guess I'll put back wistfulness, waker, even. All right, now for real. I'll keep that. It's got a force. It's got 3 lands. I'm over holding on till the end step. They're not going to do anything turn 1 that I'm going to force, so. Monkey to the graveyard. I'd like to see that, kind of. Drew my 3rd tap land. Well, my other tap land, that is. I kind of want to draw that, so I'll leave it there. And just not use the int. I'll just be a turn behind. I think that's okay. That was bad sequencing. I should have used the int first because it wouldn't even cost me blue mana. Okay, there's the other force. Yeah, I can't hardcast force. So we're going to go get breeding pool, play the tap land. Pretty much just want to see subtleties at this point. You don't find over those planar genesises even if you have the chance, I don't think, unless it's really important. I mean, obviously, if something's important, you'd fight over it, but... Okay, what to do, what to do. I think it's pretty clear. Misty to deck thin. And I will actually just deck thin now then. I'm not going to actually do that yet. No, I don't think I need to do that yet. I was thinking about is suspending inevitable betrayal. This hand actually isn't that good. It's got forces, but if they just put creatures in play, I'm kind of in trouble. Wish I had Teferi. Subtlety was a good one. Put that into play tapped, and then if I draw another land, I can double 3-drop, which would be pretty good. Opponent uses another generous ant that looks like they're fueling up for a delve spell. Because, like, usually when you have enough land, you want to keep your green cards in your hand. Opponent goes right up to 5 mana. Let's still just pass. I thought about using subtlety there, but I kind of like subtlety. Okay. Does that change anything? No, I don't believe it does. However, that could be useful in the future. I would really like to draw one more land. So actually, um, do I want to counter this with subtlety? They can play it again, and then I have to go boom, boom, boom. But then if they fight over that, um, yeah, I'll start the fight. I don't. This inevitable betrayal in my hand is useless. So the first force of negation is just free, and then because I'm only going to have one more inevitable betrayal in the deck, the second Shardless Agent is also pretty bad. So even though this would cost 4 cards to double force, it really only costs like 2. And I can Sky Turtle this Oculus. That's not the end of the world. See, Sky Turtle is just so good. Okay. They Eldritch Evolution. Oh, jeez. That's not good. Bounce that. That's really bad. This card. Okay, well now both these Shardless Agents are pretty terrible. Gotta counter this. Otherwise, a Hornoculus is just gonna run away with the game. He has Mystical for that. Okay. Well, I stand by this matchup being amazing for us. I mean, we just had outlier terrible luck. We drew both of our inevitable betrayals on our top 17 cards. Like, I don't know. And yeah, okay, they had they had 2 counter spells for it, but I mean, if we do anything but draw both these double inevitable betrayals, then like this is still fine. So, oh well. Another 2-2 video trying to get a 3-2. Yeah, I can't win from here. He has to like sack his creatures. I'm not gonna play this anymore. Okay, final opponent. We're gonna try to avenge ourselves from game 4 and game 5. This hand, I'm gonna keep it even though this is sketch. One of the problems with Commandeer obviously is it costs 2 blue cards, but we could like draw 2 blue cards, so this could be great. Gonna start with Surveil because I value having blue cards in my hand. Okay, our opponent Temiguru has gone to end step without playing a card, and they also kept 7, so they didn't mulligan, so this looks to be part of their strategy. And we have to bin a living end. That's not what I wanted to see, but we could draw a blue card right now. We did not. That sucks. So I'm going to play the tap land. This is one reason not to play Commandeer. It is rough on your hand size. Okay, opponent goes to discard. Hopefully Endurance just cleans up whatever they're doing. Maybe they know I'm a living end player. Okay, they just gave up. All right. We played very well that game, and we don't even know what opponent's doing. What kind of opponent would do that? So, call me crazy, but I think the kind of player that would do that would be someone who knows that I'm playing living end and they're like an Archon of Cruelty deck, and they're trying to draw one and discard it so I can't Living End. Is that too much to read into this? I'm just gonna resubmit. I'm not gonna. If I thought this was an Archon of Cruelty deck, I would bring in Inevitable Betrayal. I don't think I'm quite crazy enough yet to just blind bring in Inevitable Betrayal. This hand's decent. I'll keep it. Okay, it's a blue-black player. Maybe I'm right. We'll see what they're doing over there. You know what? The other thing it could have been was a Living End player who kept a hand with 2 Living Ends and then drew the third one. There's another Hedge Maze. I hope it's Neoform again. I want to get revenge for that last game. I'm going to get the Lush here. I kind of want to keep my blue cards in hand. Okay. See, like, it didn't cost me the ability to cycle. I'd rather keep my blue cards in my hand. And, like, this Wistfulness would be much better as an Aven. Okay, I think this is Neoform again, because they play non-green fetches, Atraxa. Yeah, I think it's just Neoform again. 2 Hedge Mazes. Alright, I'm getting my wish. Yep. Is this the same opponent? No. It can't be. Let's go get blue-green. I don't think our life total matters too much. And I will cycle. That card's not blue, so I don't care what happens to it. It can go right in the blender. Alright. I'm just gonna start partying. Opponent can consign this. I don't care if they do. I don't have that many counter spells, so I do need to get him dead. I totally forgot they had Atraxa. What am I doing? Oh my gosh, what am I doing with my life? I forgot they had that Atraxa. I'm just on autopilot mode because I'm talking. Well, shoot. Okay, well, we've donated a win to each of our Neoform opponents. Golly. But you know what? It's still 1-1. You know what? Our opponent gave us the win game number 1. I just thought, I guess it would be cool. I forgot, this is game 2. Opponent goes to 10 cards in hand. And I can bounce that Atraxa next turn. They planar, that's fine. See, what I don't get is that they kept 7 and then gave up. Like, there's no reason to do that. There's no 7 that's so bad you should just concede the match with Neoform. Maybe there are with other decks, but I think they can go to 6. Rider, no, you don't. Alright, so this could be the sickest play. If they attack, I double block with my flyer, my reach. They both die. Okay. And then I Living End again. What are you doing? Okay, yep. They neoform. They're going to get a Grizzlebrand unless they drew it, in which case they're going to get a Galta. They get a Galta. Let's see, what do they want? Does this kill me if they have Xenagos? I don't know if this kills me. I do have some heckin' fat booties in play. Vigilance, Trample, Death Touch, Lifelink. So I block this with Aven. $26. I'm not going to count. I'm just going to block. Math is for clankers. Yeah, okay. They have to consign a trigger next turn. No, they just pay for it. Okay. And then block everything there. Do I live? Some of you at home who are better at math than me might know the answer. I go to 1. Understandable. Have a nice day. If they consign this, then they have to pay full price. But if they consign this, they also just win the game easily. Okay, they draw a card. That doesn't stop. Cascade. Do they have the pact? If they have the pact, then they have to have consign. No? Okay. Very normal game here. Alright, well, if you take this to an RCQ, make sure you play better than I did. Do things like look at your opponent's graveyard before you just YOLO a living end into play. If opponent could hurry up, that'd be great. Okay, what do they do? Opponent pays 4 mana. Now they cannot neoform again. No swamps in play for our opponent. Unfortunate. Let's bounce the rider. Get a forest. Gain 3 life. Attack with everybody. I don't think he can kill me with haste. Opponent goes to 6. I am just heckin' dead here if they've got another combo, which, I mean, they have the rider in hand. All right, we win the match. So that should have been a 4-1. I think I really blew match number 4 against Neoform. I would expect you to go over 50% in that matchup. But anyway, check out the guide. It's message the email in the description. Tell me you want the guide. I will get it to you. Haven't decided how much it's going to be. It's probably going to be like $5 or $10. I know I don't have the pedigree that some other living end gamers have. I have made top 8s of some RCQs with living and haven't won any yet. I'm not an overly competitive player, so I don't drive all over the country trying to play in these things. But anyway, like I said, hope you like the videos. Check out the guide, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. All right, I'll open the chest for you guys. I'll open the chest. All right. Other products. All right. Leave a comment if about the chest. That way I know that someone watched it to the end. Tell me I should play Leyline of Anticipation if you're watching till now. All right, thanks. See you guys.